been at BP for about 8 years now. Before that, I was at Bank of America Merrill Lynch, so good to see some of my old BAML colleagues here as well. Most recently, I've been the CIO for the oil trading business at BP, and I'm now running a transformation we're calling Modernize IT across the BP group. So the BP group, I didn't really know much about BP, actually, before I joined the company. Perhaps I should have done a bit more due diligence, but you know, I knew about the petrol stations, and hopefully that's where you'll buy your petrol and diesel as well. But there's really a lot more that BP does than that. So if you look on the left-hand side, so there's what we call our upstream business. So that's the business that goes out and explores for more oil and gas, and then builds and runs the oil rigs and gas rigs that extract that out the ground. And then in the middle, we've got what we call our midstream business. So we have a big fleet of our own ships, so that's BP Shipping. And it's also where our trading business sits. So again, I didn't really know before I joined that part of BP that actually BP's trading business is one of the biggest commodities trading businesses in the world. And on the right-hand side, we've got our downstream business, which is actually really a collection of businesses. So the refineries that we own and operate around the world. We've got Air BP, it's one of the biggest suppliers of aviation fuel around the world. Obviously, our retail stuff that hopefully we'll know and love. Castrol, very well-known brand, is a BP, part of the BP group. And then we have a chemicals business as well, so it provides the kind of raw ingredients for other processes like making plastics and agricultural chemicals, all sorts of stuff. And then you can see at the bottom something that's actually becoming an ever more important part of our business, which is our alternative energy businesses. And that's everything from solar, wind, and then biofuels as well. So we've got quite a big biofuels business, particularly down in South America. And across all of those businesses and all the industries that they operate in, we recognize that things are changing faster than they have ever changed before. So in response to that, we put together and refreshed group strategy, released it about this time last year. And you can read all about it on our website. But to sort of summarize it, it comes down to, it talks about us continuing to bring heat, light, and mobility to the world, whilst driving this transition to a lower carbon future. And you can see some of the quotes from the leadership team there. But the detail of that strategy has this word digital all the way through it and front and center in it. So it's a brilliant opportunity for the IT organization to be not just a support function, but absolutely at the heart of BP's strategy. But because of that, we realized actually we're not in the right state to actually play our full part in that. And really, so we need to change as an IT organization, and that's what the Modernize IT program is all about. So I'll come on to the 5 pillars that John talked about in a bit. They're the kind of practical, tangible changes that we needed to make. But above anything else, and I really can't stress this enough, the digital transformation is really a massive organizational cultural transformation, and that starts within the IT organization. So we put a lot of time and effort into putting together this new vision for our IT organization. And it's 3 parts to it that you can see here. So at the core of it, there's our identity, so who we are, how we work. Wrapped around that is our purpose, so why do we exist? Why is there even an IT organization in BP? And then on the outside is our ambition, so what we want to achieve, what we want to get to. So I go through each of those bits. I'll start with our purpose. So if you look at the words in the middle, the data and technology expertise. So it sounds obvious, but the data and technology expertise of BP sits within the IT organization. But actually, I think we'd kind of forgotten that a little bit, actually, and we'd kind of lost our mojo a bit. So I think this kind of got us back on track. We are the data and technology experts within BP. And then the bits at the top and the bottom of that. So this energy transition that we talked about. So still providing heat, light, and mobility to the world, but advancing this energy transition to lower carbon. That's a pretty big and complex challenge. And if you think about it, it's probably one of the biggest and most complex challenges that's actually facing humanity at the moment. So that gives us a pretty good purpose to get behind. So then our identity. So this word community. So we want to move away from being a hierarchical, traditional command and control type organization and move much more to this kind of collaborative, community, network type way of working, which includes collaborating beyond the boundaries of BP as well. So those traditional structures, they work really, really well when there's not much change, but as soon as there is change, and we know that there's loads of change around us, you need to work in a different way so that you can be more responsive. So an explore, think, do. So explore is about working in this kind of culture of experimentation. So rather than big upfront paper-based, big exercises, big design upfront kind of thing, we want to learn things by trying them. And with new technology like cloud, it's so much cheaper and more accessible to do that. You try something out. If it doesn't work, that's great. You've learned something. Shut it off. You don't have to pay for it anymore. And then the do bit really talks around, we looked at ourselves and realized we'd become an organization or an IT organization which didn't really do IT. We facilitated other companies doing IT to us. So we wanted to get back to us being an IT organization again, and we're going to build up our own capability again, and we're going to do IT again. So the ambitions, so you can read them there, but the one I'll pull out is this intelligent insights piece. We hadn't talked about AppDynamics before we actually put this together, so this is just a good convergence, I think. Intelligent insights, really, really important to our businesses to be able to draw insights from all the data that we have. You think we've got sensors on every part of every refinery, every oil rig. There's huge amounts of data in BP, but without drawing insight from that, it's pointless. You can't make any decisions from it. But IT, we need to do the same thing. We have huge amounts of data about our IT estates, but again, without drawing insights from that, you can't make any decisions, you can't make any changes. And that's really where AppDynamics kind of fits into this whole vision. So the Modernize IT, the program, so the vision is really about why we need to make a change and what we want to make a change to, and then Modernize IT, the program that I'm leading, is now really about how we make those changes. So these are the 5 core pillars of that transformation. So first thing, top right, new ways of working. So at the moment, our operating model is we have business interface over here, we have run here, and we have change here. They're 3 completely different bits of the IT organization. Those activities are done by different teams, different people. It's really inefficient in terms of getting anything to do with speed. So we're bringing those together into these kind of coherent units throughout the organization. We're calling those services. And within those services, each of those services will do business interface, run, and change for that bit of the business. And by bringing all that together, that then allows us to start using DevOps and that kind of DevOps movement and way of thinking, and adoption of Agile and those kind of new ways of working as well. Sourcing and skills on the bottom left. So skills really important. Everything's changing, new technologies, new ways of working. We don't want any of our teams to be left behind with that, so we've put together a huge learning offer, and we're rolling that out to all of our people. Sourcing, I've talked about, we became over-reliant on third parties. We want to build up our own capability again. Application transformation. So that's really a continuation of a journey that we've already started on. So converging down on our core estate, particularly those systems of record. If you get fewer of those, it's easier to build systems of insight on the top of them quickly and easily and get, again, back to that data. Platforms and automation, top left. So automation, absolutely at the heart of any kind of digital transformation. It is the future, right? And we think that a load of that automation sits in the platforms. So by building in CI/CD pipelines, security scanning, and telemetry, so that's where AppDynamics fits into this, then other teams can build products on top of those platforms really, really quickly, easily, but also reliably and safely. So really, really important. And then how we're rolling it out. So back to the experiment kind of way of working. So we put some experiments out across the company last year with this new operating model, and we proved out that new operating model by trying it, and it was really successful, so we know it works. So then we've taken 12 big pilot portfolio areas this year. They've been pushing ahead, again, really, really successfully. So now we're at the point of scaling this out across the whole of the rest of the IT organization. So one final thought I'll leave you with. I've talked about data all the way through this presentation. It is all about the data. But data by itself, it doesn't allow you to do anything. It just overwhelms you and swamps you. You can't do anything with data. You need to turn data into insight. And the quicker you can turn the data into insight, the quicker you can make those decisions. So that's where tools like AppDynamics turn that data into that real-time intelligent insight. And it's so critical to our success. Thank you very much.